Today in Awesome Stories, we are going to explain an American sci-fi horror movie called Underwater. Spoilers ahead. We start at a drilling station on the ocean floor. The lights flash and we meet mechanical engineer Norah Price, who is sad thinking about her fiancé. She is concerned about the fact that she has spent months at the bottom of the ocean and how it is affecting her mind. While brushing her teeth, Norah sees a spider in the sink and thinks about drowning it, but gives up. As she goes to get dressed, she notices a noise echoing throughout the station and slight tremors causing the lights to flicker. Drops of water begin to fall from the ceiling, alarming Norah. Suddenly, the station's walls are broken by the pressure of the water, causing Norah to run through the corridors, waking up the other employees. One of her colleagues, Rodrigo, catches up with her, confused by what is happening. She says that there was a violation of the pressure at the station and they are trying to isolate the room so that no water can enter. Seeing that the door is stuck, she removes the panel and fixes it. Before closing the door, she sees two employees running towards her. Seeing that they can't reach her, she closes the door, saving the rest of the station. But before she could get up, she was thrown to the ground by an explosion outside. Regaining consciousness, she tries to contact the control center, but there is no response. A message is broadcast that 70% of the station has been compromised and all employees must be evacuated immediately. While searching for the nearest evacuation area, Rodrigo asks her if she thinks the station has been hit by an earthquake, but she's not sure. Norah locates an evacuation area and they crawl through the corridors trying to find a way through the wreckage to the site. Norah hears a voice asking for help and finds Paul buried under rocks. The couple help Paul out of the wreckage and they continue to crawl through the rubble trying to reach the evacuation area. They reach the other side of the corridor and Norah sees that the evacuation pods have already been used. They find the captain, Lucian, trapped inside the room because the door is stuck. The captain tells Paul and Rodrigo to find the submarine. Norah manages to open the door and warns the captain that the station is no longer safe. She doesn't understand why he didn't escape with the other employees and he says he had to stay because the station is the captain's responsibility. While the captain is treating Norah's wound, he tells him that he managed to evacuate 22 people and has been told that 3 people have died. Rodrigo tells the captain that the submarines are inoperable. The captain decides to send Norah to the control center, where she meets Emily and Liam. Norah warns the captain that the cooling towers have failed and the station's core is unstable, which could cause an explosion as the station is powered by nuclear power. Norah warns them they have 30 minutes before the explosion and they will die if they don't leave the station. The captain suggests they walk to Roebuck, the main drilling facility. The team is skeptical because they will have to walk on the ocean floor for a long time and the oxygen in the suits is not enough. Despite doubts about the captain's plan, the team decides to go ahead because it is the only viable solution at the moment. Liam shows the team a broadcast from one of the teams during the accident. They hear strange noises during the transmission, making Paul worried. The team prepares to put on suits when Emily sees a sinister painting of angels and sea creatures. Emily is concerned that the suits are often used for minor repairs at the station and not for long walks on the ocean floor. The team suits up and begins descending to the bottom of the ocean using an elevator. As they start to descend, Rodrigo sees that his suit helmet is starting to break. Paul warns them that the outer hatch has been destroyed and the water pressure will be very strong when they reach the bottom. Norah sees that Rodrigo's helmet is about to break, but it's too late as the door opens and he is imploded by the pressure of the water. The team is visibly traumatized by what happened to Rodrigo. The captain sees that a distress signal is being issued on one of the platforms and decides that someone will have to check because it might be a survivor. Paul becomes a volunteer and hands over his stuffed rabbit for Emily to look after. Paul and Liam exit the elevator and warn the captain that the platform is unstable. The captain tells them to keep walking when they hear the sounds of something swimming around the platform. Liam finds the body of a man, but there is something strange and moving behind his back. Suddenly, something comes out of the man's body and ends up scaring the team. Back in the elevator, they show the dead creature to the others. Emily is happy to discover a new marine species. She believes the creature may have come from a hydrothermal pocket with enough heat to support marine life. Suddenly, the elevator loses power and the team finds itself in darkness. They notice that something is hitting the walls outside trying to get in. The team suspects that something is holding up the elevator, as they cannot reach the bottom of the ocean. Suddenly, a creature appears in one of the windows, scaring the team. The station explodes, causing the elevator to quickly sink to the bottom of the ocean. The team goes to the pressure cabin and floods the elevator, avoiding being crushed by the pressure of the water. They exit the elevator and run to the entrance to the pipeline, trying to avoid the debris coming from the top. While running, Liam is hit by one of the debris but is helped by the team. They open the door, avoiding being buried by the wreckage or killed by the sea creature. After exiting the pressurization chamber, Norah sees that Liam's suit breathing apparatus has been hit, causing him to inhale smoke from the burned equipment. Paul is scared by the creatures walking around the facility, but the captain says it's just debris falling to the ceiling. They enter a tunnel and use a platform to navigate to the next location. Unfortunately, the tunnel is filling with water, causing the team to leave the platform and enter the water to reach the end of the tunnel. They keep walking, but the tunnel is blocked, forcing Norah to look for another way. Norah connects a cable to the captain's suit and submerges to the other side of the tunnel. Norah tells them that the group makes it through and the captain sends Emily. The captain also crosses while Paul talks to Liam. Liam manages to cross when Paul sees that something is swimming towards him. The team tries to talk to Paul, but he doesn't respond, causing the team to start pulling the cable. Paul emerges and says something is following them into the tunnel, but Norah thinks he's just joking around. Paul tries to free himself from the cable, but something is pulling the suit and not letting him disconnect. The team tries to help Paul, but he is yanked out of his suit and dragged into the water. The captain tells them to get out of the water and go to the intermediate station. At the station, the captain tries to communicate with the surface, but has no response. The team is traumatized by Paul's death and doesn't understand what is happening. Emily says they are to blame for the appearance of the creatures. The captain checks Liam's breathing apparatus and concludes that the suit will not withstand the water pressure. The team continues to walk on the ocean floor, helping Liam to walk as his suit doesn't provide the necessary support. Arriving at the first location point, they see a humanoid creature swimming at the bottom of the ocean. They turn off the light on their suits and try not to move so as not to attract the creature's attention. The captain turns on the suit's infrared and searches for the creature. The creature appears behind Norah and captures Liam, causing the team to panic. They see Liam's feet inside a cave and the captain decides to go in armed to rescue him. He sees that Liam is still alive and starts pulling him out of the cave. The captain goes back inside the cave to get his weapon, but when he finds it, the creature drags him out into the ocean, taking Norah with him. Norah goes to help the trapped captain, but the creature starts to approach, leaving her in a panic. The creature attacks Norah, trying to suck her out of her suit. Liam attacks the creature, causing it to drop Norah's suit and drag the two to the top of the ocean. The change in water pressure starts to destroy the suits and Liam tells Norah to release the cable that's holding them. Norah doesn't want to let go of the cable, but Liam sacrifices himself, opening the suit and imploding, allowing Norah to return to the bottom of the ocean. Norah searches for Emily when a squid-like creature startles her. Following a pipe, she manages to reach an oil drilling facility. She tries to contact Emily and Liam, but no one responds. Without options, Norah starts walking towards Roebuck with a flare and in suit found at the facility. As she walks, she hears Emily's voice on the radio, but she doesn't respond. Norah continues walking and sees Emily in the distance talking to Liam. Norah tries to call her, but she panics, thinking the creature is going to attack her. Emily finally calms down and recognizes Norah. Together, the two drag Liam to the station. Emily starts to rave about the low oxygen, but Norah tries to make her conscious by asking her about her personal life. Norah tells how she lost her fiancé, Liam's best friend, in a diving accident and how the body was never found. In the distance, they see a glow and realize they have arrived at the Roebuck drilling facility. Upon reaching the facility, Norah sees several creatures sleeping along the way, preventing them from accessing the door. They turn off the lights and start walking slowly, trying not to wake up the creatures. Suddenly, Emily's suit starts to warn her about the low oxygen levels. One of the creatures touches Norah's suit, leaving them both terrified. Norah tells Emily to take Liam inside the facility. Suddenly, one of the creatures attacks Norah, causing Emily to run away with Liam. Norah begins to be swallowed by the creature, but she manages to fire the flare, piercing through its body. Norah comes out of the creature's body and sees that others are waking up from the noise. But instead of attacking her, the creatures move away from her. Norah sees that there is a much larger creature above the facility. She shoots the flare towards it and sees a giant monster watching her. Startled, she runs to the facility's door, but the creature attacks her, causing an explosion and knocking Norah away. She wakes up and sees Emily dragging her into the building. Inside, Emily breaks Norah's helmet before she suffocates from lack of oxygen. They help Liam walk as they search the evacuation area. Through the window, they see the gigantic creature trying to destroy the station. To contain the flooding, the facility's system begins to close the doors, preventing them from reaching the evacuation area. After running through the corridors, they finally reach an area with escape pods. Norah sees that only 2 of the pods are working, but pretends it's okay, trying not to worry the couple. Liam wants to be the last to escape, but they insist he emerges first because of his injuries. Norah gives him Paul's stuffed rabbit and asks him to take care of it. After Liam escapes, Emily wants to go last, but Norah insists on staying. Emily realizes that the last pod isn't working and wants to help Norah fix it, but she denies it. Emily insists and doesn't want to enter the pod, which causes Norah to punch her in the face. Emily enters the pod and makes Norah promise that she will escape with them. After Emily escapes, Norah realizes the creatures are trying to reach the pods. She decides to melt the core of the facility to cause an explosion big enough to kill all the creatures. Seeing itself in danger, the gigantic creature tries to escape, but is destroyed by the nuclear explosion. In the end, we see that Emily and Liam manage to survive, but the existence of the creatures and the cause of the facility's destruction are being kept a secret. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.